Hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. The season is now over and Newcastle have finished 12th. 12th. Could you actually believe it? I think even this morning, 12th was still quite unrealistic. But Sam, Newcastle have beaten Fulham by 2-0. Joe Willock and Fabian Schär, the goal scorers for Newcastle. Just wow, really, after what we've seen in the last few months, that Newcastle have actually finished 12th. Can you believe it?
No. Bizarre. Who would have thought that after Brighton 3-0? It's very, very, very odd. I mean, looking at that league table, I just put on the instant reaction as I was doing it there. That final league table's pretty crazy. It's like West Ham finishing 6th. Leicester, poor Leicester. I say poor Leicester. They've had an FA Cup, so not poor Leicester. But to be in the top 4 all season, but apart from 2 weeks and to miss out is mad. Who would have thought, looking back when we were in August, we'd not long met up at that pub in Wakefield, looking ahead to West Ham, battering West Ham on the first day of the season, and then they go and finish 6th, and we've done the double over them.
It's been crazy, hasn't it? It's been a crazy, crazy season.
Yeah,
I should just
apologise as well because look, I've got a paint stain on my top, but that's why I'm trying to cover it up. But I failed. But yeah, it's absolutely stupid season in every way, shape, or form, hasn't it?
Yes, it certainly has. If you want to get your say on tonight, the link is in the YouTube comments and the Facebook comments as well. If you want to, just press and we'll get you in as soon as possible. We have just under an hour and then scoring the players with me and Liam later on tonight. We'll get someone on straight away. Sam, who's on first?
Let's bring in Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Andrew, welcome to the show. 12th place Newcastle United. Who would have thought it?
If you'd said that to me after the Sheffield United 1-0 loss, I would have said that you'd been drinking something rather strong, if I'm honest, guys. I had we're down. I did. I'm glad I'm wrong. Joe Willock to the rescue, innit?
Does Steve Bruce get any credit, Andrew, for this? Because after the international break, after the Brighton game, you know, everyone was wanting them out, myself included, Sam as well. I'm sure I remember you, Andrew, saying that you wanted a change from the top in terms of the manager, but only one proper defeat. I'm not going to count the Man City as a real bad defeat because it was a second-string Man City team and we played pretty well. Apart from that Arsenal game, you can't really say that we've been really poor. And you look where we are now. We've finished the season on 45 points, which is I think it's more or less the same we got last season. So it's a job well done for Steve Bruce since the international break.
Yeah, I think the difference for me, the second half of the season is even the games there we might not have picked up points, we've had moments in games. First half of the season, we were winning. Even West Ham game, I don't think we were great at the start of the season. We managed to beat them. As you say, I'm over the moon with getting 12th. Like, I'll be honest, I'm ecstatic at that. But I think, as you say, credit to Steve Bruce and his staff as well. I think he's brought people in. It's been well documented. He's getting a lot of credit, isn't he, Graham Jones today? But I think the Richie and Steve Bruce, I've said it before, I think that was a big turning point in the season. It looks like it's galvanised the squad.
It really has. And let's go back on today's game, though, Andrew. You can see why Fulham are getting relegated. They had so many times in our final third, but I never really felt they were going to score apart from when Willock plays it back. That was only the real time. I'm thinking, yeah, Fulham could score here. They just have no killer threat. And Newcastle defensively, I thought were really, really good at times.
I'll be honest, I thought Shelby was brilliant at breaking the play up today. He was terrible on the ball, but he was brilliant at breaking the play at the edge of the box today. Got a lucky with a couple of them. He could have been late. Typical yellow card for Shelby, but I thought he was fantastic. I think we have a structure at the squad. At the start of the season, you would always say that we'd break on teams, we'd counter-attack, but there was no actual plan to it. It was just a case of getting the ball up to Saint-Maximin or Wilson and seeing what would happen. We'll have a structure behind what we're doing now. There was a pass by Longstaff, not that he did much today, in my opinion, but he didn't look. He knew where Murphy was, and he sprayed a 40-yard pass out wide. And that's what you see from the better sides going forward. we've not been one of them up until around about the last few games of the season. It was nice to see. So onwards and upwards.
No, that's actually a really good point what Andrew makes about John Joe Shelby's performance. He's been getting a lot of criticism, but I was speaking to Liam last week, and he was really giving him praise the other day as well. So he deserves a lot of credit. I thought he was outstanding today.
Yeah, last three games. Last 3 games he's been a lot better, hasn't he? He's kind of found a new niche, hasn't he? Sitting in front of that the back three and doing the kind of dirty work, I suppose. And he's been breaking up players, as Andrew said, and doing the nitty-gritty side of things, allowing Willock and Almiron to get forward in recent weeks. Obviously, Longstaff was in there today as well. But, yeah, it's been a lot more positive, and Shelby's stats reflect that. And we've finished the season with 2 clean sheets. I just do want to make a point. This is a very good question. What position do you think we'd be if Willock wasn't around? I still think we'd be fine, because 30 points would have kept you up. I don't know how many Premier League seasons there's been where 30 points would keep you up.
I'd have to check, Sam, but where were we before he scored his first goal? Were we already on 29 points, or were we not?
I think it would have been in around that zone, Andrew, about 27 to 29 points. But he has been so crucial to us. And look, 8 goals for Newcastle since he came on loan in January. That's probably double the amount that most Newcastle fans were hoping for. Let's be brutally honest.
That is CCS in January, isn't it? Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Andrew, after you.
Carl posted something on the Facebook page before where Willock scored more goals than De Bruyne, Mount, Saka, all these players, and they've played a full season for the teams. You've got to. Sam said earlier, I said it a couple of weeks ago, he's got to be pushed from this Euro squad. Whether he's going to play or not is a different matter. But got to get him in that squad, get him around better players and see exactly how good he is. Because I'm not being funny, any top player would shine in this team. But to score 7 in 7 games is... When was the last time it was done? Shearer first?
Yeah, Shearer. Last time it was 7 in 7. So that just shows you the calibre of what Joe Willock's trained. But do you think it's too late, Sam, for Joe Willock to get into this Euro squad? Like, it's up to 26. It's up to 26 players. Is he better than Ward-Prowse on form at the minute?
At the moment, yeah, of course he is. To not even be in the conversation, I find really disrespectful. I can't understand why he's not even in the conversation. If he's like, even a few years ago, the last tournament, like Shelby was in the conversation, Lascelles was in the conversation to get into the England squad for a major tournament. For Willock to not even be mentioned, considering what he's up against, I don't like. If he doesn't get in, fine, whatever. But I don't even think Southgate's been to watch any of our games.
He never does. It's the type of goals he scores, so he's not just scoring tap-ins. And Guiza's a bloody good midfielder, and he busts past him. Got a little bit of a lucky deflection, but then I've always said the better players always make the game look easy. He makes the game look quick and easy. He hit the ball quickly. Goalkeeper's got no chance. 1-0. They're the type of players that you pay, take a price to go for. And if Mike Ashley's listening, just buy the guy, mate.
Yeah, 100%. And let's go a bit on that first half, Andrew. Maximin has a good chance early on where it just drags wide. They're saying the keeper got a touch to it, but I couldn't see a touch from all those replays. If it is, it's the faintest of touches. But we always looked a bit of a threat going forward with Maximin. I thought Almiron's final pass again was poor. I think it's just got to be a little bit better in those positions. But attacking-wise, we are a threat.
Yeah, massively. I agree with you totally. I think since Miggy's been playing a deeper role, he breaks with the ball and then kind of he's like a deer caught in headlights. He's not sure whether to pass the ball or not. So he's always going on. As long as the defender stands to his left-hand side and there's not anyone running off on his right-hand side, defensively they're fine. It's frustrating because I'm a massive fan of Miggy's work ethic and the way he puts himself about. But the position he's wanting to play in this team, he's got to credit more assists and goals in this team. Otherwise, we're going to possibly lose him for funds to improve the team. I honestly think I don't want that to happen, but we've got to see a step up, and he's getting to the age now where it's going to have to show quickly.
Is Mickey a sacrifice worth taking, Sam, if Newcastle need funds?
I'd sooner sacrifice Miggy than ASM, but no, it's about building a squad of players, isn't it? There are games like Miggy blows hot and cold. We all know that. He did it at Atlanta as well. He blew hot and cold. The thing is, it's how much you can get for Miggy. I'm not sure it's as much as people would think. And you need to have that depth in your squad where you can take him out the side every now and again and sit him out when things aren't going as well. I mean, he could have done that this season, but for some reason, Matty Longstaff's invisible. Even Hendrick got on ahead of him today. Jeez.
The Irish Iniesta.
I know.
It's just mad. But the thing is, if you were to sell ASM, you could probably get 2 or 3 players in for what you sell ASM for. Could you do that for Miggy? No, but I'm not saying I want to sell ASM either. Jesus Christ, no. But you need to keep your best players. That's the only way you're going to progress and build a squad around them with some depth to it.
Andrew, a player that I thought was on the same sort of level as John Joe Shelby today in terms of performances was Paul Dummett. I thought he was really, really good today. I thought he was really, really solid. I just felt he was like a brick wall at times, especially in the second half. Nothing was really getting past him today. And I believe he's just signed an extension, 1 year. I think until 2022. Yes, a 1 year extension. I don't know if that's been confirmed. I did see something last night on NFC's Twitter page, which I know Sam runs. So I'm sure he'll tell us if I'm wrong or not. But he's a good person to have around the dressing room. And also, he's a bit consistent. He's never going to be 8, 9, 10 out of 10 every week, but he's never going to be lower than a 6, really.
Yeah, I think it's the type of player that if you're going to go and sign players, that he will drill into them foreign players or players that don't know what it means to play for Newcastle United. He can say, look, I'm not the most gifted footballer in the world, but look what I do on the pitch. This is what you've got to give, and then your quality will bring out more. If you're a better player than me and you're getting in the team ahead of me, then great. But you've got to do the things I do to stay in it. Like Jamal Lewis, I don't think he's getting that message.
Yeah.
But I think Dummett's been helped by Richie, kind of being there to help him out. And I'm a massive fan of Dummett. He's Mr. Bobby Robson used to call them blue chip players, didn't he? Like Aaron Hughes and Griffin, and the players that you've got to have a squad to get anywhere. Whether he's going to be a Van Dijk or not, he's never going to be a Van Dijk or even a Titus Bramble at times. But he's a player that he was good on his day, mate. However,
Titus Bramble used to be an absolute god against Chelsea at home every season.
Yeah.
Chelsea at home, Titus Bramble was an absolute god, but apart from that, not so much.
He used to dive in a bit, didn't he? I think that's the most polite way I can put his problems. But I just like what he is. He's got his abilities are that he's going to run through a brick wall for you. It doesn't matter which manager he's playing under. He's playing for the shirt.
Yeah.
So
100%. And those are the type of players you want, Sam. You want the players like a Paul Dummett who will give you everything for the shirt.
Yeah, as Andy said there, you need an Aaron Hughes in your squad. You need a Paul Dummett. You need these kind of players, these captain consistents that do the job and do the basics well. I'm getting a reputation of liking the basics now, aren't I? I've got to stop that. But you know, it's what makes a squad. It's what you build your squad around. These players that are always kind of there. It's good. It's good. Like I would argue, Matt Ritchie's another one. I know we try and sell him every transfer window, but look how pivotal he's been. You have an argument on the training ground. You clear the air. You get on with it. You do your job, and you perform. Look how fantastic it's been. Look how it's always like a revelation how he's been, and kept our new signing Jamal Lewis out of the team. Who's I was delighted when he signed him. He would have been my first choice left back, takeover or no takeover last summer. But he's not kicked on how we hoped. But next season, a new season, and we go again. But Dummett's one that, from not being good enough to almost leaving and almost being released by Pardew to having 200 appearances for your hometown club now, it's fair play to him. And he's one that's never going to bloody leave now, isn't he?
100%. I'm just saying, your missus always seems to make an appearance on the Fan Reaction show there as well. She's
cooking cooking the Sunday dinner, mate. She's timed it wrong. Normally we try and time it so either having it just after or...
I'm just celebrating for Man U coming second, mate.
She's just celebrating Man United.
No, we're beating Wolves, didn't we? And we finished ahead of Wolves now, which
it comes back to when the missus was chatting to us that time, and she said, "I've lost my eye because if Man United's on, I'd rather sit and watch the videos. I'm not going to sit and watch that."
Exactly. Andrew, fantastic having you on. It's been brilliant having you on all season. Highlight of the season before you go. Not to blow sunshine up your backsides, but getting to come on the channel, and it makes a big difference when you can see the football, get frustrated, and come and see everyone else's different views and have a different thing on a Saturday evening and not sit and watch Villa play Leicester or something. Highlight of the season is, game-wise, was Southampton. I think a brilliant game. Not the best performance, but I just think for a game that would, if fans had been there, that would have been brilliant. But my personal one is just being a part of this network. I just come on and talk shit sometimes, but it's a big thing for me. Well, Andrew, fantastic having you on. I'm sure everybody.
You get Ollie Bernard out of it as well, that ain't
exactly.
I'm not totally used to see that, am I? So there you are.
Fantastic, Andrew. We'll have a great time. Enjoy your Sunday dinner and tell your missus to wear Newcastle, not Man United, will you?
Can I just add, I was waiting on Burnley for $3,000 a day, off a pound. But there you are. Take care, guys. Thanks for all the season.
Cheers, Andy. Cheers, mate. I think we've got one straight away, Sam. Is it Stuart?
Yeah, let's bring in Stuart.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Very good, Stuart. Where are you coming from today? Where are you talking to us from?
It's a little bit complicated. So I'm from Zimbabwe originally, but I grew up in Missouri, and right now I'm in Vietnam.
What?
Wow. Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
I know, very complicated. I told you.
Well, Stuart, first things first, what did you make of Newcastle today? 2-0 win. Joe Willock on the score sheet again, and we've finished the season in 12th place. It's just been so bizarre.
Well, I mean, my biggest thing is this. Like, obviously, since Rafa, we've been solid at the back, which is great. But what I think really the difference this season has been Willock 7 times.
Okay.
And my question to you guys is, what position do you think we would be in if Joe Willock was not playing? Period.
That's for you, Sam, I think.
Well, I've loaded your question up, Stuart, and I'm going to fire it back at you once I've answered it. I think we'd probably just be 16th or 17th. I don't think we would have gone down not because of us being good, because of the other three but being terrible. But I think 17th with no real hope of anything. Where I'm going to put your own question to you. Where do you think we would be?
I think we may have been closer to danger than you think, because us being close to that position within 1 or 2 games to go would have given Fulham more hope. And I think that's a very dangerous place to be. Yes, we finished 12th, but I mean, the way we played this season does not merit that position. I love my team. I've been a Newcastle fan since I was 6 years old. So I think that it's important for us to reflect, the stuff that we've done well. We've scored goals from midfield. And in fact, I wasn't scared when Cher came up to take the penalty, because I know he can hit them, right? Yeah. Which when you look at even last season, most of our goals came from our defenders. So, the challenges are glaringly obvious. And yeah, I don't know what you guys think about that. Perhaps I'm going overboard.
No, I think it's interesting because I think exactly the same as you. When Shea was stepping up to take that penalty, I didn't feel nervous, which was really, really strange. It was funny. I was watching the game with my brother, and I was like, we've got a penalty. I was like, who's going to take it? Richie, Willock, or Joe Linton's injured, so he'll not be taking it. I was trying to work out who would take it, and I thought, Fabian Shea. And I was just like, it was one of the best players, so cool and composed. And that's just brilliant. But going back to your question, Stuart, about where I think we would have finished, I kind of agree with Sam. I think it would have been 16th or 17th. But this is probably the first season in a long time that Newcastle didn't actually enter the relegation zone at any point this season, which is absolutely insane when you think of how close we were numerous occasions throughout the season.
You just know as well that's going to be held against us on TalkSport this week.
100%.
Oh yeah, and when you think about the level of consistency we've had over the past, 7 games, if we had half of that, I mean, just think about where we could have been.
Yeah, 100%. You talk about Joe Willock being so important, and he has been so important this season. But how important has Martin Dubravka been, Stuart? Because he came in a really, really torrid time. I mean, we needed points. We needed steady performances, and it was a brave decision by Steve Bruce. And you look since obviously that Brighton game, he's been so consistent. He's made some big saves. I think of the Liverpool game in particular, which never really got a point against Liverpool at Anfield.
Well,
he was absolutely insane, wasn't
he? I actually agree with you. In my opinion, Dubravka should never have been dropped. Because apart from contributing as far as saves, and he contributes to organization, like he gets everyone in line. While I like Carl Darlow, like he's good, he's a good shot stopper, but organization-wise, Dubravka is a master at that. So I think he should have never been dropped. Injuries happen, of course, but I just think that he should have been back in immediately, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I think, Sam, we've talked about his importance over the years, and you seem annoyed. But I don't know why you're annoyed, Sam.
Sorry, I've got Forest Green versus Newport on in the background.
Oh my God. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
Well, no, because I think I've got me playoff bet on, haven't I? And I've got Newport County. So sorry.
Stuart, do you know, I'm going to apologise on Sam's behalf here because he should be really focused on Newcastle.
No, but Forest Green have just scored, and now Newport are only 2-1 ahead on aggregate. Stuart.
I think my rants about Dubravka are getting to you, huh?
No. But I think you have got a point, because I do remember when Dubravka was fully fit, we were all making that case of, yes, Darlow has been fantastic, and he saved us a lot of points early on in the season. But I agree with what you said, Stuart, that it's levels, isn't it? It's levels. Dubravka's on another level to Darlow. Whilst Darlow, again, holy shit, Forest Green have just scored again. Sorry. This is getting a serious situation. About playoffs
because
I think he has money on this game. That's what's happening.
Yes, I do, Stuart. Yes, I do. But the thing is, it's levels, isn't it? Dubravka is a level above Darlow, and whilst Darlow does the basics well, Dubravka makes saves that no other man can do, apart from those elite kind of players. Yes, there is an error in there sometimes, which we really see from Darlow, but it's that organisation, it's that calming influence at the back, which we've seen in them past 2 games, which have really helped, keep a clean sheet, which is something we've not done enough this season.
That's huge.
Final question for you, Stuart. Highlight of the season. I'm going to ask everybody this season. Has there been one game, one moment? Has there been a particular goal? What is it for you that's been the highlight of the season for Newcastle?
I would probably say our game against Man City. We lost that game. But do you know what that reminded me of?
Newcastle.
Exactly. You scored 3, we scored 4. That's what it was about. And for me, as a fan of sport, I play soccer as well. So as a fan of the game, I go to the stadium to watch a game to be entertained, not to watch us build a wall and defend for dear life. But I still love my team.
Exactly. I think that's a brilliant way to end it for yourself, Stuart, from Vietnam, all the way from Vietnam to talk about Newcastle United. Stuart, it's been brilliant having you on, and we'll hopefully have you on in the future.
Keep supporting
thank you for having me. Stuart. Yeah, away the lads. Away the lads.
Fantastic. Thanks very much.
What a man.
Before I bring the next person on, Sam, that's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Because, you know, I find it surreal doing this video because you have people from America, you have Jane Atlanta occasionally who comes on, you have people from Ireland, London, and now I've had somebody from Vietnam. Like,
yeah, and we're about to go to Bournemouth very shortly as well. But it's fantastic. Stuart's one of our members as well. He supports the channel, so big thank you to him. Fantastic. Some real knowledgeable points made.
Who's next?
Probably the complete polar opposite of what we're going to have now. A familiar face. Hello, Owen.
Hello.
Oh, here we go. All the way down south.
Yep.
How are you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm not too bad. You passed your driving test now?
Yeah, passed it.
There we go.
Last August.
Fantastic. Oh, it's been a long time. I think the last time we spoke to you when you were part of the channel, Newcastle were more. I think it was just before the start of the season, really. So yeah. It's been a long season. But what have you made of it overall?
Bar this last, is it even a quarter? Maybe 8th of the season. Bar this last, 4-5 games. We've started to pick up some points. And some really good points as well when you look at the opposition we've come up against. It's been a pretty torrid season. I haven't really enjoyed it. There was, that 3-0 loss at Brighton was really starting to tear my hair out, as I'm sure many fans were, because we were just slowly slipping away. And luckily, it's come good in the end, and we picked up a nice amount of points. Got, 45 points now, 12th place. Didn't look like we were going to finish there at all, but somehow we've managed it.
And you didn't tear enough of your hair out because it's still looking a bit shaggy on top.
I was just about to say I'm jealous of that.
You are.
I'm very jealous.
You are.
I was just going to say, Owen. I used to kind of take the neck a little bit with the Bournemouth connection, but it's actually a former Bournemouth player that's been instrumental to Newcastle this season. That is Callum Wilson.
Yeah,
he's been an absolute revelation, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen, obviously, from being down here, I've heard a lot of Bournemouth fans for the past 4 years when the Premier League rave about him, and honestly, for those 4 years, I was a very jealous man, because I've always thought he was a good striker. Injuries always worried me with him, but this season, despite him being injured, for large amounts of it, really, to score 12 Premier League goals and 12 very important ones as well. I think very at the start of the season, the point we got against Spurs, away to Spurs, that penalty in the last minute. I mean, it takes some real bottle to score that. The 2 goals at Everton away. He's come up with some really crucial goals, and I love his mentality. His mentality, that's that selfish striker mentality that we've missed for God knows how long. I would say back to Rondon, but maybe Rondon wasn't even as selfish as Wilson. You're probably looking back to the likes of Remy, maybe, that selfish of a striker. So he can be so clinical. It's been really impressive, and it's exactly what Newcastle have needed for the last couple of seasons now.
Yeah. Oh, and just stay where you are. I'm going to bring Dan in because he wants to come in for 5 minutes, and he's going to pop back out. So we'll get Dan in as well. Let Sam do his magic behind the scenes. But I'll ask you another question while waiting for Dan to come in. You've talked about his instrumental goals, but I think his build-up play is just as good. I think he wins free kicks. He gets us up the pitch. We're talking with Stuart about how defensively and boring we've been at times, but he's got that added bonus to his game as well, hasn't he, Owen?
Yeah, well, it's not just that. He knows how to press, which is something I think Newcastle have lacked for a long time now. Is a forward or forwards that can press that back line, cause a problem. His pace when he's running at full throttle. I think back to a moment when we played Burnley at home right at the start of the season. He belted from probably about the halfway line all the way up to Nick Pope and pressured Nick Pope into kicking the ball straight at him. And that is the type of tenacity that Newcastle have lacked for such a long time. He's just a brilliant player to have. The pace in attack, alongside your likes of Almiron and Saint-Maximin, that attack is exciting. And under a different manager, you could probably be getting like a combined, 35 goals a season out of the three of them. So, it's unfortunate that the position we're in under Steve Bruce, where he's not really getting the best out of the front three as a whole. But I think when you look at the players that are in there, especially Wilson and Saint-Maximin, it's incredibly exciting.
It is. Dan, welcome to the show. I know you've only got a few minutes, and I know you wanted to come on, so we'll just get a brief one from you, really. What a season it's been for a variety of different reasons. Of course, the majority of it has been negative, with a few positive little sparks every now and then. But just briefly, what do you make of the last part of the season? Because the likes of Joe Willock and Saint-Maximin, I'm going to put up there as well, have been so instrumental in Newcastle not really be involved in a relegation battle towards the end of the season. And who would have thought a comfortable 12th position?
Yeah, I think you summed it up, mate. If anybody said we would finish 12th, especially after that dismal run we had, I think we'd all bite your hand off, wouldn't we? The performances weren't there. Tactics were not there. But again, and I don't want to give the bloke too much credit, but you do have to give Bruce only a smidgen. I'm not going to roll you up, Sam, but
no, I agree.
But you do have to give the bloke some credit. I mean, I think when we were playing that Bruce ball for however long it was, and it was dire, we'd all admit that. I mean, Sheffield United was probably the low point of the whole season, I'd say. But I think the way he changed it and basically just released the shackles to a degree, not going to say all the way because it's still Bruce, but the way he kind of said to ASM and like Almiron and I think even bringing Murphy back in and Richie as well, and kind of just saying, just go out and play. And it's a bit like what I've forgotten what your name is down bottom right. Obviously, the guy before, against Man City, kind of like we'll just go and just score and just hope we score more than the other team. But I think certainly against the Burnley result was huge. If we didn't win that game, I probably would say today would have been the make or break. Like if we go down or stay up. But again, being 12, 13 points clear now, I never would have seen it. 16
points. 16 points, Dan. That's how much it was at the end of it.
I didn't watch the game. I was parenting today, but again, I never would have said we'd finish that many points clear in 12th position. It's just, I don't want to back Bruce at all, really. But obviously, that time when it was playing Man United, and if we won the game, we could have gone second or something stupid. Yeah. If he'd have continued in that way, the way we were performing at the start of the season up until that game, we had the odd crap result here and there, but who doesn't? Would we have all been still negative about it? Because we were thinking, flipping out, he's actually like kind of evolved from his first season. He's actually like pushed on a bit. But, you know what I mean? It's happened now. But again, finishing 12th, kind of where we probably should have been, like I said, maybe 10th or something like between 10th and 12th where we finished is probably where we should have ended up. Just not with the relegation scrap in between it. Dan,
what's been your highlight of the season?
Newcastle-wise, there's two highlights I've got. Newcastle-wise, I'd say either the Everton result or the Southampton at home one, where everybody kind of really dug in with the injuries and that moron Hendrick getting sent off. And my ultimate highlight came yesterday when Lincoln City are now my second favourite team in the world. Yes. It has honestly made my year. I could die right now a happy man. But I think overall, they're having some really good performances, but I'll say the Southampton and the Everton away results were probably my personal favourites up until yesterday.
Brilliant, Dan. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Up the imps anyway. Owen, what's been your highlight of the season?
Sorry, Johnny, I'm going to shoot off now, mate.
No worries. Thank you very much, Dan.
Cheers,
Owen, what's your highlight of the season been?
Highlight of the season. I mean, in the past month or so, there's been quite a few. Obviously, that City game ranks quite high for me. To go toe to toe with City for 90 minutes is quite impressive, to be honest, for a team that's struggled throughout the season. But my overall highlight was that West Ham game. We're 2-0 up. We bottled the lead, and then Joe Willock with a bullet header. I mean, I loved it. It's the most reminiscent thing we've had to Limbs, probably, outside of a stadium. It was going mental in the living room. So that's probably my highlight of the season, yeah.
Fantastic. Owen, it's been great to have you on, and hope you're doing well. And
yeah, cheers for having me.
I love how he had to go and sit in the car just to prove he's passed his driving test now. What I will say, for anyone watching, when Owen was part of the channel, he did a fantastic interview with Matthew Raisbeck, so go and check that out. I think it's still on NFTV Extra.
One's on the main channel.
Oh, yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, go and check that out because it is brilliant. That was about a year ago now. Yeah, go and check that out with Matthew Raisbeck.
Yeah, fantastic. Cheers, Owen, have a fantastic night. We'll see you. Hope we're back in Newcastle very, very soon.
Yep, see you soon, guys.
Cheers, Owen. Don't get off your tits on pale ale.
And that was Owen, friend of the channel. He used to be on the channel, of course. And yeah, it seems like a long time ago since me and Owen were playing charity games for Newcastle Fans TV, which we won, of course. Of course we won. Who's next?
Right, we're going to bring in Steve because he has a trophy for finishing 12th. Then we'll get Fordy on, and then we'll probably finish off with Dylan because time is pressing. Steve, yes. Trophy, hit me.
Hey, so I'm almost done with my creation. It's called we finished 12th place, and we are better than Wolves. All right. Hey! Woo! See? 12th place, baby. 12th place. I don't know why it's not showing up. We're better than Wolves. Why can't I get focused? We're better than Wolves.
On goal scored.
Yeah!
Come on. Steve, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm literally on the right-hand side. I've just seen Fernandinho pick a trophy up for Manchester City. It's nowhere near as good as that one.
This is prestigious, man. This might never happen again in the Premier League because maybe we'll get relegated with Wolves next year.
Possibly. Who knows? Steve, what a season it's been. It's been a season of downs and some occasional ups.
Yeah.
One occasional. It's been today's game. Newcastle have actually won against Fulham.
Yeah.
Newcastle just had that little bit of extra quality when they needed it, didn't they?
Yeah. Fulham just kind of looked lively for a little bit, but they kind of just our defense played very well today. Pretty much all of them.
Did I teach you nothing on the watch along?
Defense! Defense! Defense!
Yeah, well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Steve, this has been a big season. Obviously, with all the takeover distractions at the start of the season, it looks like it's going to carry on into this summer with all the arbitration. What would be? I'm not going to say an ideal summer because we all know what an ideal summer is. But what would be a summer that we could all kind of get on board with? 3 or 4 new signings in big positions. I'm looking at midfield, centre midfield. I'm looking at right back, maybe another centre half if Lejeune goes. Just a couple of positions just to improve the squad. And 12th could easily be 10th. There's so many teams now playing European football. If they're all playing European football, 1 or 2 teams are going to be that surprise package. Can Newcastle be one of them?
Not with Bruce and Ashley, no. Not with Bruce and Ashley. I'm sorry. I hate to be the pessimist here, but let's be real. 3/4 of our year was absolutely putrid. We started off hot, and then we went cold for a very long time and got the occasional point accumulation. And then at the end of the year, we played a bunch of teams that were way, way, way better than us. And you know, somehow, some way we got safety. But to be honest, it's why I'm not gonna try to convince myself or fool myself that we're gonna do anything ambitious under Ashley and Bruce. Mostly Ashley. Bruce is the problem short term. Long term, it's Ashley. We need them out. I really don't care who we sign. We have ASM, we have Wilson, we have Frazier, but we have Bruce and we have Ashley. It's hard. It really is. It's hard to get excited about a new season when you know it's just going to be the status quo. It just is. I'm very happy. You know, Willock was probably the story of the season, even though he's a loan signing. That kind of says it all. He's a loan signing. We don't even like. It's frustrating. It really is.
What's the maximum price you'd have? Do you think Newcastle can pay for Willock? Do you think it is around about that £25 million mark, Steve?
Yeah, but Arsenal could go crazy and be like 35 or nothing. They could, because it's their player. They can play their cards as they can show them, or they can, you know, they hold it. They hold it. It's all in their hands. So I would say I forget what number I put on last time, but anything over 35. But who knows what our budget is? Who knows what our budget is? So it's difficult. And that's the other thing too. It's like, if I want to be excited about the Saudi thing, but this takeover stuff has been, it's going to happen for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And it's never come through.
Yeah, it's never come through.
It's like when the Cubs finally won a World Series after 100 years. I won't believe it until it happens. I won't believe it until it happens. I have no optimism, nothing about where this club is going except down. Because like I said when I was on the watch along, 12th place covers over the cracks. It papers over the cracks.
100%.
I mean, in what world are we better than Southampton?
It's a fair point, isn't it, Sam? Fair.
In what world are we better than Wolves? In what world are we marginally better than Crystal Palace? Maybe. I don't
I think there's not a lot of difference between that squad. It's all dependent on kind of one or two key players in the whole squads, isn't it? Can Southampton keep Danny Ings fit? Can we keep Callum Wilson fit? Can Palace keep Zaha fit? It's all.
Exactly.
But the other thing is too, with these clubs that we finished above, Wolves have that Portuguese agent. What's his name?
Mendes.
Yeah, Mendes. So he can hook them up with sick players and sick coaches like that. Wealthy owners. So I think that they'll bounce back next year as long as Raul Jimenez keeps fit, and he can score at will, man. He's a very good player. Southampton, Hasenhüttl is going to do more of his managerial career than Steve Bruce has ever and could ever. Let's be real. Hasenhüttl's a great coach. So I just, again, Ashley and Bruce, that's what I'm going to focus on. We can sign all these guys. That's great. You can listen to my, over the summer, I might be able to make some videos on here about, I want to sign Wamanga Tuka from Stuttgart, or I want to sign Juba from Zenit, or I want to sign Aaron Long from New York Times.
Zenit, man. Closet Zenit St. Petersburg fan.
Do you know what it is?
Oh, Spartak. Jordan Larson from Spartak Moscow. I can list off all these names, but am I expecting it? Ashley throws out, and then when he does throw out the cash, he's $40 million on Joe Linton.
Exactly. Steve, in one word, how big is this summer for Newcastle?
It can only be one.
One word.
Very good,
Steve. Very good.
I learned that. No, it's a big summer. If we start the season with Bruce, I think Norwich. Let's be real. Norwich are gonna go bottom of the table. They always do this. They get promoted, then they finish bottom. So there's two spots left. And then Swansea and Brentford. I think if it's Brentford, they'll survive. I think if it's Swansea, they'll go down. So there's one spot left. I think we're that next spot, to be brutally honest, if we don't have some mega crazy, gigantic summer.
I hope
not.
Steve. I hope not.
No. I want to be wrong. I want to be so wrong. But we'll see.
Steve, I'm going to have to get somebody else on because we've literally got 15 minutes. I've got 2 people to get on. But thank you so much for all your support this season. It has, honestly, we're all extremely, extremely grateful for everything that you do in the watch-alongs, etc. So thank you so much.
You guys make sick content, and you make me feel like a part of things. And that's what football YouTube should be. And that's awesome. So much love to you guys. Thanks.
Thanks very much, mate. Top man.
Cheers,
What a guy. What a guy, Stephen. We've got the man, the myth, the 40. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. How you doing? Long time no see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a couple of people that I haven't seen for a long time. Owen's just been on before. 40, your team, Brentford, have got a big game next week, but I'm sure you were happy that Newcastle did their bit today.
Yeah, they did all right, didn't they? Listen, it's been an up and down season, as you both know full well. I mean, the amount of discussions that we've had over this past season, boy, it could be documentary worth. But yeah, it's been one of them. I mean, don't let the last 7 games fool you. I mean, I'm sure it won't, but I've had people piping up saying, "Oh, Bruce is all right, he finished 12th and all the rest of it." I'm like, calm down. This is normal Newcastle. We have a good run towards the end of the season. We've done it under Rafa. Now we do it under Bruce. Just letting you guys know. Yeah. Cheers, Kev. Hey, Kev. Hi, Kev. I'm the knocker. Hi.
40, this is a big summer, but in terms of the players that are out of contract or are fringe players, do we need to be getting rid of a lot of deadwood this summer?
Get them gone. Get them gone.
Who are you talking about?
Starting off with Dwight Gale. I've backed him so many times, but I think for his own benefit, he needs to go get some championship football under his belt. Thankfully, we're not playing championship football next season. He's one of them. For me personally, I would probably get rid of John Joe Shelby. I'm not going to lie. People might say, what? But at the same time, it just goes to show what a true midfielder or 21st century midfielder looks like in Joe Willock. He can get up and down, mobile, all the rest of it. And John Joe Shelby, I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
Do you know if it was excellent today?
Who, Shelby?
Yeah.
Well, one of his 5 games a season? Is that what it is?
Our last 3 games has been good, playing better in a different role. Maybe it's the kind of thing that's more suiting him these days. That he's more defensively minded and just let him sit there and ping out balls from the defence and break play up. I don't know. Someone had to do it with Isaac Hayden injured. Why not him? Yeah.
I mean, look, for me, the midfield going forward is Hayden, Longstaffs, and of course, if we can sign Joe Willock. I mean, look, I'm more off the fence now. Before I was saying, get him on another loan deal because I still have scars of the Kennedy deal. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, we all thought he's flipping Roberto Carlos reincarnated, and then look how that turned out. So I'm still like, But again, 7 and 7. Listen, you can only you've done it. You can prove it. Okay, cool. The only downside to that is that it's probably pushed the £25 million price tag up to another £10 million on top of that. So it's one of them. But if Arsenal does want him, Arteta does want to use him, I'm sure the Maggies will have him back.
Yeah, can you get that quote back up from Steve Bruce? I want you to get both your thoughts on this because I think this is quite an interesting quote. Steve Bruce has said in his press conference, "We'll never say that it's an achievement to finish 12th for a club of our stature, but it's an achievement." How do you look at that, Sam?
That's typical Steve Bruce, isn't it?
And the thing is, as well, I've already been hearing the pundits, the experts. I've already been giving him his flowers and saying, "Look, he's done all right. 12 plays. I mean, look, I think he's bettered Rafa's efforts by maybe a point or two, but at the same time, he spent over £100 million more. So what have we done? We've gone up 2 points and spent £100 million. I mean, look, listen, I sound like I'm pissing on the guy's parade here, but listen, I'm bringing it all back to reality. We finished 12th for a long time, or for quite a big space of time in the season. We thought we was going to get relegated or close off. It's lucky that we have 3 shitter teams less than us that they got relegated and we're not. So, yeah. And Joe Willock saved them, of course, as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you think Joe Willock could get an England squad in this Euro squad? Sam doesn't think maybe it's a bit too late, but do you think he's got any chance, 40?
I think with the people that we've got ahead of him, I think it might be a little bit too late. I think people have already been, penciling in their Madisons and Grealishes and Rices and all them sort of people there. I would like to, because again, I think we can actually take credit for getting him in there, even though he's an Arsenal player, because let's face it, before then he wasn't doing much for Arsenal. And then since then, obviously, as I said before, like the 7-7 speaks for itself. But I think it's already kind of written in stone, like who's going on that plane. So, yeah.
40 highlight of the season?
It's got to be either the Leicester win or the West Ham win, the second one of them two. Or Brentford getting in the playoffs.
Give them the watch along for the Brentford game will be on 40's channel. Londoners down south, I think, or whatever. The Bees down south, something like that.
I'll be supporting Freddie Woodman and Swansea.
Oh, it's like that, Sam. Okay, you're banned again off the channel now. That's it. You're banned.
No, I've backed Swansea to win the playoffs. That's why.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's all down to that. Typical Mike Ashley supporter.
Exactly.
Swansea, Lincoln, and Newport, which is why I've got Forest Green Newport in the background.
40, thank you so much for coming along tonight. Thanks for all your support this season. Make sure you subscribe to Geordie's Down South as well. There'll be some videos coming on.
He's not wearing the t-shirt for nothing.
Exactly, and Roots TV. Exactly. 40, have a great time. I'm sure we'll catch up then. Last person for the season is Dylan. Dylan, you've got the pleasure of having the last 5 minutes on the Fan Reaction Show, Newcastle Fans TV, alongside myself and Mr.
Very
Mulder.
proud.
Very proud moment. I can imagine.
Yeah, very proud moment for you.
It is, Dylan. I keep on saying what a season, but one thing that I am glad that I'm actually glad the season's over. For one big thing, the fans are going to be back next season. We had a small taste of it on Wednesday, and it was surreal. It was a bit weird, but it was great to be back in the ground. Do you think that Steve Bruce has to have a good start in next season, say the first 6 to 8 games, to still be in a job because the fans haven't been in the ground and have felt all this animosity towards him? Because there was a lot of booing. I don't suppose you've seen the video, but there was a lot of booing.
Oh, I did, yeah.
On Wednesday.
Like, it's just how do I put it? He has a lot to make up to the fans. Like, okay, we got 45 points, finished 12th. It's a good look for us, kind of a better look than we anticipated. But some of the results during the season were fucking rotten. And, like, he has to change his style of play first and foremost, because we're a horrible watch. Let's be brutally honest. We're a horrible watch. And next season will be key for him, because if the fans are in the stadium, they'll make sure, as if he hasn't known already without fans, they will make sure to let him know in the stadium whether he's the right man or not. Obviously, most of us think he's not, and I, for one, am that. But yeah, he needs a very good start if he wants to have somewhat of a good standing with the Newcastle fans.
What do you make of Newcastle's defence today? Because me and Sam have just been speaking before with Andrew at the top of the show. We seem really solid for a change.
It was. I watched parts of the game there because our brother is an Arsenal fan, but I won't get into that. But yeah, the parts I saw, we have good defenders though. That was our strong point over the last few years, even under Rafa. Like, Fernandes is a very good centre back, very underrated, and good to see Cher come back in and get the goal, obviously. But defending, okay, this season we've had a few iffy moments at the back, but the defence, they're a solid 7, 8 out of 10 constantly, so it's not really a shock to me.
Yeah, Sam, this season, it's hard to describe for any North.
It's been stupid, hasn't it? It has been a stupid season. From head to tail, top to bottom, it's been a stupid season. But let's be frank, we had no right to finish 12th and be 17 points above the drop zone. Like, if you told us that at one stage, you were not a chance, not a fear of it. But
It happens.
A lot of that is down to like the bottom three who have been exceptional.
It is off.
What was it, Johnny? You said 16 points clear we were in the end.
You know,
On another season, that would be 5 points.
100%. But you know,
Exactly,
it was really interesting points after the international break. If Newcastle had lost every single game after the international break, it would have still been in their own hands today.
There you go.
And especially we've
seen in the past 2 games why them 2 teams have gone down.
Well, you thought at one stage, especially when Fulham beat Liverpool at Anfield, you thought that was it. They were going to kick on because they kind of did build up a small head of steam, you could say, where they didn't lose. And they only lost 3 in like 15 at one stage. But at least, thank God they did end up going on a rotten run, and we looked way further away than we probably had any right to be.
Last question for you, Dan, before we get to the score and the players. In a word, we're not allowed. Say we forget about Joe Willock. If there's one player you want, bar Joe Willock, in the summer, who would it be, realistically?
Jethro Willems on a free.
Yeah, I love that. Love that.
Loved him at Newcastle. Oh, loved him at Newcastle.
Jethro Willems back at St James's Park. Dylan, hope to see you back at St James's Park next season.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Hope to see you back at St James's Park next season.
You're seeing me next week.
No, but I like to see. I'd rather see you in St James's.
Right. Okay. We can meet outside if you want.
That's a little teaser for you all.
Has an answer. Yeah, he has an answer for everything.
He does, doesn't he? Dylan, thank you very much for coming along. I know it's been brief, but thank you for all your support in the family action shows over the season.
Give me some stick there at the end, was Dylan.
Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for him.
Very good.
Sam, let's end it by thanking all the subscribers, all the people that have been on the family action shows over the season, because there's been some tough times, but there's been the occasional good moments, and it's nice to see an array of people with all sorts of different opinions, because I think we're the only channel that really does this in terms of every single week.
It's great to get the opinions of fans from all over the world. It absolutely blows our minds that you always find a Newcastle fan everywhere, don't you? And it really is true. We have people from every corner of the world on. It's just fantastic. It's why I love this show so much, and it's nice that I finally get to do it after a win for a change.
Where's Steve's trophy? Where's Steve's trophy? We need to get that for you.
Yeah, he's still there in the background. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you to everyone who's been on this season, and yeah, I don't know whether we're going to do it for some England games. I mean, considering our international kind of demographic here, then I don't know. We've probably got more chance of doing it for the Copa America than an England game. But there you go. But yeah, fantastic, absolutely superb, and to cap off a ridiculous season where we finished 12th.
12th place, Newcastle. Hey, not too bad of the season. Scoring the players will be in 2 minutes. Me and Liam will be on there, and then the last word with Lee in about half an hour's time. So for myself and Sam, thank you so much for being on the Family Action Show, and I'll see you in 2 minutes.